This is Seek, Australia's leading online employment marketplace. In recent years, it seems being inclusive is all the rage. I mean, you could just do that, just be accepting of everyone in your company. Or you could make specialised roles to show how committed you are to including everyone. For example, the Queensland University of Technology has an ad for a diversity and inclusion specialist. This isn't just some entry-level position. They advertise a remuneration package of $135,000 to $150,000 per year. Of course, they use all the modern woke buzzwords and expressions that we've come to expect, such as, "We believe that diversity is our strength and are dedicated to creating safe, inclusive spaces where everyone can thrive." Of course, they explicitly mention sexual orientations and gender identities, and proudly state, "At QUT, diversity is not just embraced, it's celebrated." Imagine a job ad from a bank from, say, 50 years ago. Would they ever mention one's sexual orientation? Of course not. Firstly, because it's none of their business, and secondly, it's irrelevant to being a banker. But somehow modern Australia has made it relevant. They proudly state they are aiming for an Indigenous Australian workforce participation of 3.6%, ensuring that our students and staff mirror the diversity of the community, regardless of their background. This, of course, is code for we're shifting away from merit-based hiring and focusing more on social engineering. They're aiming for a specific demographic mix where personal identity is treated as a qualification as valid as a university degree, with minority status individuals being placed ahead of other Australians in order to meet their targets. But the job ad that I'd like to focus on today is this one that was sent in by a viewer, Inclusive and Affirming Reception Admin Assistant for a group called Haven Psychology Centre in Brisbane. Just by looking at the picture of people wearing rainbow shawls and colourful hair, you can probably guess where this is going. The first clue is in their logo. It seems to contain a number of heart-shaped flags, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flags, the LGBT pride flag, the intersex flag, and every flag in between. There seems to be one flag missing though, the Australian flag. That's a bit odd, coming from a company that, at least on paper, is Australian. That doesn't seem very inclusive, does it? They don't pay quite as much as QUT, only $60,000 to $70,000 per year. The job is based in Milton Meanjin, the Aboriginal name for Brisbane. How else would Aboriginal people know where to apply for the job if they didn't conveniently say Meanjin? As expected, they use all the right buzzwords. Haven Psychology is dedicated to culturally responsive, identity-affirming care, as well as decolonising mental health. I don't know what that means, but clearly mental health in Australia has been colonised. Actually, I'd suggest it's the clinic that's been colonised by dubious ideology. Of course, they welcome applicants from all diverse community groups, including Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, those with a disability, mature age, and people from culturally diverse backgrounds. Again, they seem to have forgotten everyday Australians. That's not very inclusive. Oh, I forgot one. Members of the LGBTIQAPSB+ community. I think that's the longest version of the acronym I've ever seen. It's so long, it's becoming like some kind of rainbow serpent devouring everything in its path. It's relentless. It won't stop until every letter of the alphabet is consumed. On their website, Haven Psychology uses the motto, "Rescripting your story." They note that your health is important, providing plenty of free advice like stay 1.5 metres away from other people, or wear a face mask if you are not symptomatic but not feeling well. Just in case you're a time traveller from 6 years ago. They have plenty of blog posts like Therapy as a Queer Pride Practice or Why Your Sexologist Wants You to Celebrate Masturbation May. Riveting stuff. You can also meet the team. Don't worry, I'm not going to ridicule anyone. Human. They have a therapy dog named Rosa, who apparently uses she/her pronouns. Forcing a dog to use pronouns? That's pretty rough. They have a psychologist named Day Bailey who uses they/them pronouns. According to Day's profile, Day deals with clients in a radically affirming way. I wasn't sure at first, but Day is a proud member of and advocate for the LGBTP+ community, and they live and work on the unceded lands of the Turrbal and Jagera people. Just in case you're not quite convinced that this is the psychologist for you, they often meow back at their cat. Rough. I mean, meow. But most importantly, they recognise with solidarity their privileges of being white-skinned, housed, slim-bodied, literate, educated, a citizen, sighted, hearing and speaking. What about being sane? As a psychologist, shouldn't that be on the list? Anyway, if you're looking for a great place to work, or if you have mental health concerns and need a psychologist, look no further than Haven Psychology Centre in Brisbane. Meanjin. That way, you too can identify your privileges of being white-skinned, literate, and living in a society where not only can you choose your pronouns, you can officially assign them to your border collie.